Hey, another barely edited video, and why? Because, breaking news, Raygun, I think just Raygunned her career. Well, she already did something to Raygun her career in the middle of this year, but let's just say that she set the Raygun from kill to stun. Here's her silver medal performance, finally! Getting the medal she was robbed of this year, Raygun hits up comedy club owner for $10,000. Lawyers for Rachel Raygun Gunn are demanding $10,000 in legal fees from a small Sydney promoter that had planned to stage a musical based on the Olympic breakdancer. And quick proviso before we start, yes, I do know that Sydney promoter. We do work together whenever I'm doing my stage shows because that particular Sydney promoter, Anthony Skinner, really good guy, who has filled up a place that has been completely eaten out of Sydney, which is that every time any industry ever gets monopolised, you start eating the part that got you to the monopoly in the first place, which is coming up with a bunch of new acts for you to tour. Because if there's no smaller venues for these guys to try out and get their teeth on, then what do you end up becoming? It's just, tonight, live, Dave Hughes, 80 years in the biz and counting. And then there's no one else coming up. So that's the kind of position that guy took. He's fostering a bunch of the new talent that started there. So anytime that I've ever got a show that I need to start and see where the chinks of it are, your test runs and all that kind of stuff, I do work with Anthony. And he's a really great guy. The money that was going to come out of this musical, by the way, just so you know, I think there was something like 70 tickets that were sold to this, and he was going to give the proceeds of that to a domestic violence shelter. That's the kind of guy he is. Now he's getting hit with 10,000 smackaroonies, but back to Raygun. That's not a good headline for you. Now, I understand that you have probably been surrounded by a bunch of PR types and lawyers that are looking to make a quick buck out of your name. I mean, I don't even know you and I'm trying to get a quick buck out of your name with this video. But I will say that, don't listen to those leeches, ever. You know what I think a big portion of most PR management's job is? Running a PR campaign on their clients, pretending that they understand what the public thinks and wants. Let me tell you something right now. Anyone that has a bunch of inflatable furniture in their office has no fucking idea what the average Australian wants. Let me make this very simple for anyone that ever stumbles into fame, literally ass backwards in Raygun's case. Rule number 1, never, ever sue anyone else. You leave that for faceless businesses to interact with each other. You immediately lose the true court that is going to be your paycheck for the rest of your life, which is the court of public opinion. No one thinks anyone is good for getting lawyers involved. It just reminds everybody of the little snot-nosed shit at school that went to the principal whenever somebody said that they were out in handball. And you can tell that she's still listening to these parasites. Listen to her response. It's so obviously crafted.
Hi everyone, Raygun here. I just wanted to say a few words about this Raygun the musical. So the first we heard of it was last Friday when it was a story in the Sydney Morning Herald and on Channel 7 News. We were totally blindsided by this, and unfortunately the blowback was quick. People assumed that we had developed it, that we had approved it, and it damaged many relationships, both personal and professional.
No, it didn't. Come on. Names and numbers. Who has this personally damaged a relationship with? Especially when it comes to business. You know how you just solve this? There's a very easy way to do this, Raygun, and it wouldn't cost you a single cent. You do exactly what you just did then without the lawyers. I can't believe it. It's always the same thing. It's just you are going to a lawyer and then their response always is going to be, you want my advice? I think we should sue. Is it because you have a massive financial interest in this? No. I genuinely think that you're going to come out looking good in this light. Fuck!
So this is why my management and legal team had to work so quickly to shut the musical down. So it was really unfortunate.
But again, did they? And were they successful in it at all? Because immediately what's happened? They've just changed the musical to something like Bay Bun the rootin' tootin' hour. And they've just made it so that it's like, it's clearly you, but it's not you. And now you have no legal argument. Put it aside, I don't even think that you did have a legal argument. Then again, I am not a lawyer and these people are, so maybe. But a lot of the time you have to understand that lawyers just pretend that they have a legal case. Like a lot of my mail these days is, Bill, I've won $1 million. Oh, wait, no, I haven't. Bill. Oh my God, I'm getting sued again. Oh, no, wait, it's just somebody pretending that they have a case, right? Like that is a lot of what lawyers do. They just fire off and then try to scare the shit out of people that don't know anything about the law. And I think that that's honestly what's happened in this instance. But again, I'm not a lawyer. And see, this is what they're working with. This is the fucking advantage those parasites have.
That the show had to be cancelled so close to the launch. I know the artist would have put a lot of work into it, and that really sucks.
Wow, she has really had a lot of practice with this face. That's very concerning and perplexing. But then again, who on earth would need to practice that face more than Raygun this year? I'll tell you, look, generally I think that Raygun has done an okay job at doing what she should be doing in this instance, which is you have to understand, especially international viewers, I think that I'm telling Australians something that they already clearly, deeply know on a core level, because really, what else is there for being an Australian other than taking the piss out of anyone that dares have a public platform or try and be more noticeable in the public eyes other than come on down to Barry's mechanic shop, that is who we are. Just being assholes to anyone with any talent at all. And so the only exceptions to that is if you're a sports star, which Raygun has well and truly demonstrated that she's not, or a criminal. That's it. Those are your only two outs of this country. If you do have a public platform, the only thing that you can ever possibly do is either just ignore all the criticism or lean into it. It's such a shame that Raygun's boy interest in life is breakdancing instead of Warhammer, because as we all know, one, this is definitely a Warhammer channel. Sorry that we've been so light on the content these past 5 years, but we will get back to it one day. And look, those neckbeards, they're the good neckbeards, yeah? For some reason, the Warhammer community has well and truly accepted that what they do is nerdy and pathetic, and so when you pay them out about it, they just absorb that negative energy like they are the Chaos Space Marines. They have embodied the ethos, memes for the meme gods, as opposed to the Yu-Gi-Oh ones, which I think that Raygun is taking inspiration from, of just like, this is my passion in life, don't make fun of it. Never do that, especially in this country, for Christ's sakes. I mean, honestly, the most alpha move that you could do is what Paul Keating did with Paul Keating the Musical, which is rock up every week in your fucking fishnet stockings and say that was great. But failing that, honestly, this would have been way better to ignore. And then the third best option is to just come out and sit there and play the victim card without turning them into the victim. Now they're the victim, do you understand? And seriously, they are the victim. Like, I know Anthony, he pours his heart and soul into that business. And I think that that business does do a general community net positive, which is that it does elevate the platform of comedians in Sydney, which has just been stripped out of the place for the last 20 years. He's definitely not a millionaire, I can assure you now. And in today's cost of living crisis, $10,000 doesn't seem like much to someone like Raygun who, went to, I can't remember, one of those fancy private schools that had your $40,000 tuition fee a year. So, look, again, because the lawyers are probably from that same world and they sit there and be like, what? That's just a term of money for education. There's nothing to... That's a lot of money for most people. You understand? Like, most people see that someone is getting sued for $10,000 and they think to themselves, well, bloody, that's how much eggs will cost next week because of bloody Coles raising the price on us. That's how they're interpreting that. To you guys, you're sitting there and thinking like, well, that's just my legal fees. That's how much I get paid for having a little meeting down at the cafe that's down from my office. That's nothing. On every level, this makes you look really, really bad. I would honestly come out and say now, if I was Raygun, that like, I don't want my lawyers getting that $10,000. Or to say, I am paying those legal fees. I really think that that is your only out in this situation. And especially because, look, let's just go back and look at what the outcome is for Raygun now. The outcome is that the musical is going to go ahead. It's gotten a huge amount of publicity that it otherwise would have never have gotten, and it's turned from being a one-night show that probably wouldn't even fill the room to something that will be packing out audiences for months on end. Fuck me, there was a Seinfeld episode about this. Also, speaking of bad moves, I'm really not in a position to give Raygun advice, but especially because tonight, live on the stream, Friendly Geordie's response to hater comments from Monday's video, because it really is only 3 talking points that just get regurgitated over and over again, and those need to be dispelled about that subject because there is heavy vested interests in it. And if you'd like to learn what those are, you know where to be. Tonight, this channel. And also, as a little bonus, I have been given a rather sensitive video that very powerful people probably don't want aired. And we're going to react to it and laugh at it. So there you go. There's another reason that I'm going to get sued now.